What's up, everybody? Today we are going to be talking about whether or not you need fitness in order to be able to create art. So it should go without saying that, yes, obviously you could sit down and just start creating art, which is awesome because, I mean, that's my favorite kind of art to do, is just be able to sit down, go to a place, and get to creating. But when we talk about certain situations where the environment isn't ideal, or whether or not your circumstances or your frame of mind isn't in the best place, and that potentially affects the way you create art, whether or not you can even create art, then we have to start addressing whether or not it's due to maybe your fitness of mind, fitness of body, fitness of soul, fitness of circumstances. And let's be real about it. Not everything's going to be perfect. Not everything's going to be ready for you just to walk up, sit down, and go ahead and start creating. So basically, let me stop right there and check out this little quick snippet of me trying to get my body fit, so that way my mind can, do this video as well as create artwork. And I'll be back in 1 second. All right, everybody. So I need to get back in shape. You've heard this before from me, the Dad Bod Chronicles. It seems like we're hitting the reset button almost every 3 or 4 months. But with my new YouTube channel, Hunter Art Lab, I'm talking about mental health and art, related to art, as well as trying to defeat imposter syndrome. But it's a really, really tough hill to climb, as I'm finding out, without being physically in shape. My mental game is being affected by my physical game, which there is no game to my physicality. So with that being said, I'm going to attempt to do some push-ups today and just see where I'm at. I've had my brownies, I've had my nasty veggie pizza, and I've had some water, so here's hoping I don't vomit. But let me go ahead and get in the mood. I'm kind of wearing, if you're like me and you've been quarantined, you're kind of not picking out your clothes, you're just putting on whatever fits. And as I expand my body, I am literally just reaching for whatever fits. So let me get prepped real quick here. Need some lungs. Oh, okay, steroids. Okay, let me tuck this in so my gut doesn't hit the ground. And then I sweat a lot too. I think there might be an older man thing happening to me. It's like a second puberty. So let's get ready with this. That way I can catch it. Somebody cue like that Loverboy song. Going back to work for me. All right, let me get in position. 25. We're going for 25. Ready? My butt may not be in the air. I don't know. Hopefully I'm straight. Let's go. 8. Twenty, 22, 23, 24, 25. Let's go for 28, 26, 27, 28. Let's go for 30, 29, and 30.
Let me go to the bathroom.
Okay, so pass or fail, I don't know, but I mean, as you can see, I've got a lot of work to do personally. All right, so now what I've found, and I'm not alone in this, a bunch of friends of mine who are professionals, okay? They work on animation, they work on books for different publishers, big publishers that you have probably heard about, or books that you've read and shows that you've watched, are right now, during this pandemic and this type of quarantine situation, are right now stressing and feeling a lot of the same effects that I know I am, and probably you are, when it comes to creating and being productive and just not having a constant state of anxiety. For example, like, you feel productive maybe one day, if you're lucky to get to that point, you're producing, but then the next few days are just a drag and you just can't seem to get going. It just feels like, you can't just you can't set fire to motion and just start going. Part of that, I wonder if it's not due to what we're dealing with. Everybody's dealing with this type of situation where you're watching like life expectancy, drop, as well as situations where people are not all complying with the same standards and same set of rules. And so, you start to wonder if your health or the people you love and around you's health is worth it, or if Nana in Texas is doing okay. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to deal with, and then we as artists are expected and expect from ourselves to create, to produce work, and to be able to interpret the things that are around us and view it through our lens and then produce work. Well, guess what? Sometimes your body, I'm assuming, I'm not a mental health expert or even a physical expert, especially if you look at me, you know I'm not a physical expert, okay? But point being is I feel like sometimes our bodies are just right now in a fight or flight situation, and our defense mechanisms are kicking in to almost try to shield us from being hurt or being taking on more of this, I don't want to say trauma, but just more of these experiences. And that can mess with your head, I think. I think that can mess with your moods. And I feel like it's messing with my moods and messing with my head. So then I started to wonder, well, why do I feel so sluggish? Maybe I need to get the blood pumping. Maybe I've been putting off working out for so long. All right, so supposedly we have more time now, so we should be guilted into creating more work, getting in shape, spending more time with family and friends, catching up on that anime series, reading more. A lot of external factors and stimuli that are telling us, hey, you need to be more productive with your time. Yet this isn't the ideal situation, is it? This is kind of crazy. I mean, let's be real about it. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm trying to make sense. And maybe that's what the problem is. Maybe my brain, my mind, my soul is all trying to interpret this and make everything that's happening make sense. And that is what's causing my fatigue. That's what's causing me to feel drained. And I don't feel like I can produce the work all the time. And then I feel guilty about it. So that compounds everything and makes everything even more of a double down, feeling like a crappy situation. So if you are also feeling that type of pressure, then you're not alone. It's coming from the top people who are in positions that you and I would love to be in as far as creating and recognized for the work that they do. And it's coming all the way for the person who just wants to get started. There's people probably who would love to start doing art and always was a passion or a dream or maybe just a hobby or a curiosity. And now my question is whether or not they're able to get started. And I'm hoping that they're able to get started, because that's what I've always been about, is being an advocate for people to just get started doing art. And because if you could feel what I feel when I am creating art, when I'm in that zone, that feeling of euphoric, that serenity that I feel when things are clicking right, and the lines I'm putting down or the paint I'm putting down, it's just everything's just flowing really well. And then I'm creating something, and it's just like, it's a beautiful, beautiful place to be. It's really, really peaceful, and it's just exhilarating. I almost have to pinch myself and stop myself from getting too excited, because then I start messing up the piece and everything like that. It's just all this like extra energy I get all of a sudden from creating. That's why I do it. I'm kind of an addict to it. And I always felt that people could feel that serenity when it comes to creating, whether it be building something, sculpting something, drawing, painting, taking photography, digital programming, whatever it might be, whatever it is that your passion is, crafting, scrapbook making. If a whole lot more of the world could feel that, I feel like the whole lot more of the world and people would be in a better place. So let's talk about real quick here, and as I wrap up this video, what is it that you're doing to try and put yourself in a better place? Let's talk about how you feel. What do you feel is your ideal situation to put you in a better place to create? And what do you think is a more realistic situation to put yourself in a position to create? How are you coping with everything, and how are you putting yourself into a better position to create? Thanks.